if any of you ever ridden a horse, more than likely, if you haven't yet, at some point you're going to. If you ever do ride a horse, it's important to know how to properly saddle the horse so that you and your horse have a comfortable ride. In order to saddle a horse, the first thing, we have to do a couple things in steps. First, we have to get our horse out and get all of our tack out. Second, we have to put on our saddle and our saddle pad. And third, we have to tighten up our saddle to our horse with the girth. So, first of all, our materials that we're gonna need, the most important thing is you need a horse. This is my horse Chex. He's 3.5 years old, and I've had him for almost 2 years. Secondly, you're gonna need your saddle pad, which protects your horse. You're gonna need your saddle, and then you're gonna need your girth, which holds your saddle onto your horse. So, if we start with step 1, first, I've already groomed him off so that there's nothing like dirt or anything like that that's gonna be rough and rub on him when I ride. Secondly, I'm gonna be taking my saddle pad, and you're gonna put it on your horse. You wanna make sure it's not too far forwards, because then that doesn't protect the back of the horse, or too far backwards and not protecting the front of your horse. You also wanna make sure it's centered so that then it protects your horse evenly. Next, you have to get your saddle, and you're gonna gently put your saddle up on your horse. Over. Good. You want your saddle centered on your saddle pad so that then the weight is distributed evenly and you aren't rubbing any sore spots on your horse. Once you get your saddle in place, the last step is to tighten the saddle onto your horse with the girth. So your girth is the front part. That's what is tight and holds your saddle in place. This other strap is called a back strap or a back cinch, and that helps hold your saddle in the proper position as well. So once you make sure your girth is in the proper position on this side, to where you can tighten it, then you go onto the left side of your horse to tighten it. I put my stirrup up, which is this, so it's out of my way. This is called the latigo strap. This is what we use to tighten our girth with. You put your latigo strap into your girth, and you bring it back up and around. And you do that one more time. Then you see these holes, you're gonna put your high checks. Clip in there, and you pull on this strap to tighten it. You have to re-tighten this girth before you get on your horse, because your horse may have unpooched a little bit. Then the last part is you take your back strap and you hook that up. You don't want it too tight because you don't want it to be uncomfortable for your horse, but you don't want it too loose that it could slide back or your horse could get a foot caught in it. So to review, the first thing we had to do was get out our horse, get all of our materials out and make sure our horse was groomed off. Second, we put on our saddle pad and made sure it was properly positioned. Third, we put our saddle on our horse. And fourth, we hooked up our girth and our back strap. If you ever have a horse, it's very important to know how to properly saddle.